Yeah, hi. This is Rad Rar Tiggin, and I just want to say that the guy who runs this channel is pretty awesome and probably a very generous lover too. I wouldn't know. You can just tell by looking at some people. Yeah, hi. This is Rad Rar Tiggin, and I just want to say that the guy who runs this channel is pretty awesome and probably a very generous lover too. I wouldn't know. You can just tell by looking at some people.
I totally screwed that up. Thank you, Matt, though. That was really nice of you. You can unmute too. Starting a little early today, people.
I'm lost on Ahsoka. Never watched the cartoon.
That's good. Quiet.
2, 3.
There you go. Very good.
I was
I
ready to
remember
bop
George.
along.
You remember George?
Oh,
I
He was a
remember
sweetheart.
George.
He was a sweetheart.
I remember Culture.
yeah. So he's doing some good Kate and I'm not Kate and Harry. The nasty woman that married Prince Harry.
Oh, Meghan
Well,
Markle.
Megan.
Megan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's a sweetheart.
I mean, she was in a series with Robin Williams and then he died. I mean,
I
not saying she
mean,
caused it, but
let's put
yeah.
it together there, people. Oh, crap. I forgot to take it off. Welcome, everybody. It is Wednesday. It is the Wednesday dump or the Humpty dump or the Mad Stump, whatever the hell you want to call it. We haven't figured that out yet, but I am Scott, not Mad. So welcome to my channel, not Mad's, but you heard how he felt about me. Tonight we have a great panel with us. So right now we have from down under. Yeah. How you, matey? Matey?
yeah, I don't know what that Kiwi accent was, but that's fine. No, I'm doing
Is
good,
that
and
Kiwi?
also I'm not mad either, so I'm quite happy. So
Well,
happy to be here. So
I sometimes think you're mad. Okay.
yeah, that's fair enough. We are very similar. I mean, apart from the fact that I didn't get blown up and I wasn't a copper, and yeah, I still have all
Copper.
my testicles. So yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Apart from that, virtually identical.
like so close. So
Close.
So we also have, thanks for being here. We also have Bad Takes Bojan, who will be telling us about her feelings on Ahsoka later. Did you see
Oh
it?
yeah, definitely. I only saw like the 3/4 of the first episode. I expected them to be a half hour. So when I
Yeah.
sat down to watch them, I ran out of time.
Yeah, you
But that's
didn't need to
okay.
see more.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I also wanted to say I'm not mad either. Well, maybe like 2 or 3 days a month, but we won't
Yeah.
talk about that.
Mad knows that. Yeah. Thanks for being here. And the slenderest of slender dads, Slender Dad.
Yeah, you've already lost me throughout this entire opening. You told us to stay muted, and then you said come off mute, but I was scared because I didn't want to be rude, so I didn't come off
You
mute
did
right away.
such a good job.
And then I keep looking at Grant Gregory, and it's Migrant Gregory, but I keep thinking, well, he's my Grant Gregory.
I
Yeah,
did not
yeah.
notice that.
I'm invading, so yeah, I'm a migrant. So
Migrant. Oh, okay. I see what you did there. See. Yeah.
I hear there's quite a few countries you can invade without, crossing, but
You'll enjoy him. See, I just did what I told you I didn't want people doing. I just stepped over your toes. So sorry about that.
I grew up in a big Italian household, so I have to be really, I actually literally have a note at the side of my desk that says KYMS. It means keep your mouth shut. So I don't
Yep.
like talk over people, and I still do.
I'm the king of it too. My wife, she's just getting used after 14 years of like my family, like Christmases and stuff, because all we do is like yell over each other. That's all we
Yep.
do. So we're good at it. But so back to Slender Dad. Let them know who you are, where you're from, what you're doing, and your sign.
I gotta let him know all those things. I mean, I'm Slender Dad. I'm one half of the Ascendant Art podcast. 9 p.m. Easterns on Friday nights. We talk about random shit. Sometimes it's culture. Sometimes it's video games. Sometimes it's movies. Sometimes it's comics. Sometimes it's TV. Sometimes it's whatever Mad derails us with that particular evening, because he's a pretty common guest on the show. So
yeah, he's definitely good at that. And your sign.
My sign?
Yeah.
Yield.
Okay, I like that. That was good. Okay, can we go back to this format?
I so thought you were a turnaround wrong way guy.
Yeah.
You think you know a guy?
U-turns. No U-turns. I don't know. So, how are you guys doing? Anything in the news you want to talk about? Great. We're going to talk about Ahsoka. We're definitely talking about Ahsoka. I watched it, and within the title crawl, I hated the show. Hated it.
I haven't seen it as of yet.
Okay.
But I'm wondering if they've done the same trope that they've done the last two things. Did someone get stabbed with a lightsaber in the guts and survive?
Oh my God, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I say, did she survive? Because it's usually always a woman.
Well, that's one of the things that killed me. There is no male protagonist in the show, except for like Ezra, who's not there.
So they haven't brought in Rex yet?
They brought it. There is no male protagonist in the show yet.
Is the cat male? Or whatever that thing is that runs around. I didn't watch the cartoon, so I have no idea what the heck's going on.
So I don't know.
Here's the thing about Ahsoka, right? Like,
Mhm.
Ahsoka has always been kind of a fun character. I liked her back in the day in the animated stuff.
Right.
But she was not a protagonist. Like,
No.
she's supporting cast. She cannot carry a show.
No.
And I haven't seen a whole lot of the show either. I've seen some clips, but like, that character is not registering as the Ahsoka personality to me. It's a completely different personality.
Yes, it's Ahsoka with attitude.
Which is weird.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this, but her master was actually a Sith. So,
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But so first of all, you're absolutely right. Like Rosea Dawson, I believe that's who plays her.
Rosario.
Really
close.
Rosario.
Really close.
I was so close. I'm so bad with names. She like literally does like a like looks like that. Like that is not how she's going to play it with her so-called Padawan, who she left. For the simple fact that she was never a Jedi Knight.
Wait. Her Padawan. Wait, so you're not talking about Sabine, are you?
Yes, Sabine.
Sabine was never a fucking Jedi.
Well, she calls her master, and the very end of episode 2, she says, Ahsoka turns to her and says, Padawan.
You know her and Sabine's only interaction was in the cut scene at the end of Rebels. They looked at each other and that was it. Because she said she's going to be out there looking for Ezra and then she's going to need help. That's it. So she's now a Force user?
Okay, so there is a part with one of the droid where he's like, you're like the least talented, but is she calling her a Padawan because she's going to teach her, like, I don't know, lightsaber, or I'm sorry, laser sword maneuvers? I don't know. Like, she must have some type of Force sensitivity if she's called. She did train her in the past as a Jedi, even though she's not a Jedi, but in the goddamn, it's not even a crawl anymore. It's just it goes up in red lettering, calls her a Jedi Knight. They call her a Jedi Knight.
She didn't finish her training.
She didn't. And if they're going to tell me, in some random book, I shouldn't have to read the extra credit material to know she finished some Dave Filoni way of being a Jedi without Anakin.
It was page 46 on the 7th volume of what?
Yeah. Rosie. I was about to say O'Donnell. Yeah, Rosie Dawson.
By the way, my boys are screaming from the other room. It's not a cartoon, Mom. It's an animated series.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm okay with calling it a cartoon, an animated series. Doesn't matter. I enjoy certain cartoons. I enjoy certain animated series. I'm a big anime guy, so
yeah.
Can we address the other elephant in the room though? Did Order 66 kill anyone?
No,
No,
no.
I've explained this to Rhino. Order 66 means there's 66 Jedi left.
Yeah.
It was
Or they only
least
killed
66.
66. I thought they only killed
Dude,
66.
they were probably lucky to kill 6 at this point.
Right. It's terrible, dude. Like, everybody survived. Everybody survived. And we're going to find out, like, no one actually died. No one ever dies. No one ever really dies. Like, it's so bad. It's
Except
so
Luke
bad.
Skywalker and Han Solo, because they
Yeah.
were toxic men.
And
Yeah.
Obi-Wan.
Yeah. And Yoda, even though he was green, you know, minority.
He's still male.
He's still a male.
Didn't Han Solo come back as like a Force ghost or something in the last movie? I didn't even watch the movie.
No.
I
It wasn't
never
actually-
watched the last
He wasn't
one.
actually a Force ghost. He was a hallucination.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
gotcha.
right.
Okay.
It was a hallucination because
Yeah.
the only Force ghosts that came back were brother and sister looking in like a pose, like they were
Yeah,
about
they
to
were-
take their
They were
Walmart
smoking
photo,
some of
you know
that
what I mean?
midi-chlorian peyote. And,
Yeah. Yeah.
Next thing you know, they saw Force ghosts.
Yeah. Well, even that, like,
Been
even
there.
if they were Force ghosts, it looked like, you know, bro and sis were getting it on.
They look like mom and dad, like over the. Yeah,
Ew.
Right.
Ew.
I mean, they've kissed before, you know?
that's true.
But back to Ahsoka. She sucks. Yeah, wrong. There are more Jedi after Order 66 than before. And Mace out the window. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they don't realize, I really don't think. I don't think they're doing it on purpose and I just don't think they care enough to really think about what Order 66 was, in that there was only supposed to be about 2, maybe a handful other that made it. You know, like, I know there's some EU stuff that added a few extra Jedi, but for our knowledge in the cinematic universe, it was Yoda and it was Obi-Wan, and that was it.
But
Invader.
a lot of those ones who survived weren't around droids. That was the point. So they were the ones who were off on solo missions that ended up surviving. So it made sense. But like, so according to the Disney canon of Star Wars, Order 66 happens, and there's all these Jedi that come together. They create an underground railroad. Yet not one single one of them decides, how about we get together and be the best fighting force that we can on the planet.
Right.
Because what will happen is every single time that we're getting into battle, it'll be one of us versus 50 droids or 50 something, and we're going to win.
Right.
But we never thought about doing it as a group.
And that's the thing. If there was so many that were still alive, yeah, why didn't one of them go, hey, fellas, let's maybe join up? I don't know, go underground, teach some younglings that survived, because some of them had to survive. I know Anakin likes killing kids, but some had to. Grogu did.
Reva did.
Reva did.
Maybe
Forgot about
everyone
her.
meet up at the rally point together so that
Yeah.
we can organize a counteroffensive.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing,
Since we have generals and other military ranks in our order.
It didn't make any sense when they established that there's an underground railroad. So there's a connection. This one person has a connection to all these Jedi.
Right.
And you saw the wall that was full. There's probably 100 different names there.
Yeah.
And it's
Oh,
just
yeah.
like, okay, so like, where are they?
That was in Obi-Wan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. There was so many names. And then don't forget, like, you get Rebels, they're still training Padawans. I mean, there's so much going on. Little Chad, how are you? You don't have to tell us.
Oh, he wasn't ready. I do want to also add, like, and this is something I know a lot of people don't like the prequel trilogies. They're looking a lot better these days.
They
But
do.
like,
They do.
when Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan were on the Trade Federation ship, they basically took on the entire security force of that ship by themselves. Jedi are supposed to be practically an army unto themselves.
Yeah, they're badass.
Especially
So if
when
you
they
get,
used
like-
that speed run that they used in that scene that they never
Right.
ever used again.
Yeah,
Right.
but if you get like even a dozen Jedi together, that is pretty much an unstoppable army.
Yeah. Get 50 of them.
Minus heavy
50.
artillery.
Literally, if you had 50 of them, you could take out the universe.
You could take on the Empire, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. Chad, are you there?
Oh, I'm here. I just don't like to interrupt Slender
no,
when he's
no.
on a rant because
I love his
it
rant.
ends. he gets even angrier, and then it's just hard to rein him back in.
You don't want to
The
see him when he's
anger
angry.
is rising. I'm like Mr. Furious.
So, what did you watch Ahsoka?
I Jack Sparrowed it, yes.
Yeah, okay.
And I was bored. I put it on in the background while I was working today, and I probably got as much out of that as if I was paying for Disney Plus and really focused on it. I did really enjoy seeing an E-Wing. That was cool. I mean, that was about the highlight.
That was about it, right?
Yeah, I mean, the rest of it makes no sense.
And
Sabine Wren as now a Force user makes no sense.
Right.
They're doing this thing where they're trying to force a relationship with Ahsoka and Sabine that didn't exist.
No, they looked at each other at the end of Rebels. That's basically having a relationship.
But that's what they're saying. Like that look is what is the beginning of their training, I guess. I don't know. Like she came back and trained her. I didn't watch Rebels. I watched bits and pieces of it. But
so in Rebels, Kanan was the guy who showed her how to use the Darksaber. And even then, it was heavily implied that it wasn't because she was Force sensitive that she could use the Darksaber. It was that the Darksaber itself had like Force properties where it was almost like a Harry Potter thing, where it would detect its user's ability and would kind of let it be used. Okay. It was this weird stuff.
Well,
but they even added that in Mandalorian.
That's what I was just about to ask.
Yeah.
Is that what it was? Like he felt like he wasn't.
Yeah, because remember there was that whole thing where the Mandalorian, when he felt unworthy, it would be heavy, and he couldn't lift it.
Yep.
And he's not at all supposed to have the Force. I mean,
and neither is what's her name?
Neither is Bo-Katan.
Bo-Katan. And the other thing is,
the Darksaber assigned the Mandalorian to House Slytherin, and it was all downhill from there.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Ahsoka's a Hufflepuff at this point. So, but Kanan Jarrus was the character who trained her, and when he did the training, it was a big thing where he was like, "Look, you're a Mandalorian. Lean into that. You're not ever going to be able to handle it like a Jedi because you're not a Jedi. So start cheating, like start fighting like a Mandalorian." Filoni likes to lift shit from the expanded universe. He says he does too. He admits it. That was when they trained Jaina Solo to fight her brother. She went and got trained by Boba Fett because she needed to be trained by Mandalorians because they were the ones who knew how to fight Jedi because they didn't fight like regular people. They would cheat. They would shoot, flamethrowers. They would do, lines. They would do all that stuff to beat Jedi. And then when she goes to fight him, she's not fighting like a Jedi, so she kicks his ass.
Last I checked, a lightsaber can't deflect a flamethrower.
No,
you're supposed to use the Force.
One of those spinner ones. The spinner ones. That'll do it.
But you got to make sure it's spinning the right way, otherwise it sucks the fire into you.
Right. Yeah. I have to go back to one thing you said, Slender, about or it might have been Migrant over there. The Force run, because there's a part in episode, I think it's 2, where no one ever realized that a high person in the Empire, who was also one of like the Dark Sisters, like the witches or whatever they were in the Clone Wars or Rebels. I don't remember exactly which one they were.
The Night Sisters.
Her factory is still, being run. Oh, and there's Empire people. They're literally building pieces for the Empire or whatever becomes Thrawn's, Empire.
Well, I'm going to be honest, living in Virginia where there's a lot of defense contractors, and Slender can back me up on that.
I've worked there myself.
Yeah. The idea that a large industrial, say defense contractor is doing some side projects to make some extra cash.
Yeah, but I'm saying, let's say
America
crashes and I don't know, China's here and it's all still American workers.
Hey, Sporking,
you're not going to keep
does Volkswagen still exist?
But you're not going to keep a close. Yeah, they're not building tanks. You're not going to.
But they were, and then they got to stay around and build cars.
I got you.
And so did Mercedes.
I bet you they kept an eye on them for the beginning. The beginning decade
really
or so.
You think the military governor was
they
watching
kept
BMW?
An eye on the Germans they brought over here as scientists. Okay, you might have a point.
Here's the thing.
All right. I wanted to say real quick, Slender. All I wanted to say is you made me think about that. Like I actually thought about that while the show was going on, because a ship's taking off and she starts running after it. I'm like, oh, we're about to see the Force run. And it didn't That's all I wanted to say. But goddamn, you guys are right.
Lord Sporking, I'm actually siding with you a little more on this one than Little Chad, because although I agree with Little Chad, the the defense contractors are going to do what defense contractors do.
Right.
Now, here's the issue, right? They would not only be keeping a closer eye on it, but it would end up being a corrupt element within the conquering group.
Right.
That would keep that stuff going. So even though, yes, they would probably be keeping a closer eye on it, we've all seen it. High-ranking officials within a government, especially a government like the Empire, they don't care about the interests of the Empire. They care about what puts a little extra cash in my pocket. Yeah, let's keep this going. I can use it later on down the road.
No, you're right. It was just so obvious, like these massive hyperdrives. It's not a Volkswagen, like these massive things just flying off.
They're in the
middle. They made
of,
sure to classify it.
They're in the middle of like at this point in the story, as stupid as it's, they've now made a through line between that silly episode of The Mandalorian where it was just Operation Paperclip, the Empire version, and where you spend an entire episode where you find out, and I think it was just for this whole through line, where they're decommissioning the entire Imperial Navy, like all of it. They're not keeping any of it. Right. And if you're breaking down the equivalent of 7 or 8 fleets worth of ships, there's going to be an easy ability to kind of like sneak stuff out and in if you're corrupt and you're bribing people.
But it's almost like they're shipping out, like in a sub, the nuclear reactor, and people are like, I don't know where that's going.
I mean, here's the thing, though.
Now that as a guy who was in the Navy and has worked in the shipyards, no fucking way.
Exactly.
All right.
If nuclear material is moving through the shipyard, usually it has a full Marine escort.
And that's what that.
And if you even get too close to it, they will point guns at you.
Now, Slender, if you were taking the entire Pacific Fleet and decommissioning it at the same shipyard, you don't think that some stuff might be able to get snuck out when everybody who's doing it are the people who work there?
Here's the issue. I get what you're saying, but there isn't a shipyard with the facilities to decommission an entire fleet.
That's what Corellia is. Corellia is an entire planet.
That's the planet. That's what the planet's designed for.
Yeah, it's a shipyard planet.
I can't scale up to that with my microcosm view.
Count on your fingers, you'll be right.
Micropene. No,
I mean that's something that for Star Wars fans, if you did like the expanded universe, like Corellia was supposed to, just like Coruscant was a city planet, Corellia was a shipyard planet. The entire entire planet was Norfolk's shipyards.
Right.
So.
But then if you look at like a Star Destroyer, like even a shipyard planet would probably only be able to process 4 or 5 of those tops.
Right. And I don't think the reactor would go missing, or the hyperdrive would go missing. I think maybe.
But weren't they building a new one? They were taking the parts and putting it into to make the new one.
Well, they were taking parts and shipping them to places, and they're like, again, the head guy there is part of it, so he's like, oh, that's classified. I can't, do that. It wasn't until the droid was like, oh no, we can do that. And he was like, you stupid droid. Like everybody there was working for the Empire.
Then, to Lil Chad's favor, the Empire completely fucked up Order 66. Why did we think they would have good tracking on this?
Okay, point taken.
But it's the New Republic.
But it is the Republic, right?
Yeah, which is to one credit point to Disney. They have made it pretty clear over the course of The Mandalorian and Ahsoka and all these shows they're doing that the New Republic is inept as shit at running their government. They've made that abundantly clear. That's actually been consistent.
Too many men in positions of power, probably, right?
Oh no, they're all run by women. It's Mon Mothma.
Yeah,
and unfortunately, Admiral Akbar hasn't got space yet, but they won't let him do anything.
Well, let me ask you guys this too, because I gave up on The Mandalorian, so I don't think I watched the last season, and whatever was Mandalorian part 2.5 season. What's
Book of Boba Fett?
Yeah, Book of, I can't even remember because it was so bad. My question is this: how many years? Is it only 5 years after the Battle of Endor?
This is all supposed to be taken. All right, so the first season of Mandalorian was like 5 years.
Okay,
after Endor. Okay, but by the last season of Mandalorian, it was supposed to be like 2 years after that. because Dave Filoni did that stupid interview where he was like, little Yoda was training.
No,
with
it wasn't
Luke
Filoni. It
for
was
like 2 years.
It was Favreau. Favreau was the one that screwed that up.
Whichever one said that.
Yeah.
That effectively puts it at
years.
about 7 years post.
7 years.
Yeah. Which on the plus side is going to be.
Mando went around for 2 years without visiting Grogu.
And Grogu
apparently he was just
shit.
a little bit sad that whole time.
Grogu
he was busy.
Learn shit.
He was busy. That beating from Abby took him down a notch.
Yeah.
So he had to recover in a Bacta tank like Boba Fett.
Well, let's go over the episode real quick. So the beginning crawl, I already went over. It's not even a crawl. It just goes up, straight up. And people are like, that's so amazing. It's not. The music was
done that
great.
better.
You can do that in 5 minutes with Microsoft PowerPoint.
Right. But they wanted to be different. That's the thing. Don't go with what.
Oh, you mean when they made it red?
Well, they made it red and they made it not crawl from you. It just went straight up the screen. And that was terrible. But she's not a Jedi Knight. That's one thing we were talking about. And it starts out with her, once again, another stupid idea, an ancient temple that people haven't been in for millennia.
Oh, I recognize that from the video game, though. Though I don't know anything, but I recognize that. Where so all the Dark Sisters were and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, that's straight out of Knights of the Old Republic. I mean,
right.
On the plus side, it's not a map that like has pinpoint coordinates to a current year thing. It's just a star chart, effectively, for a hyperspace.
Yeah, but
like I'm thinking, like in Rise of Skywalker, where she had a little knife that somehow magically matched up to where the Death Star
everything Disney has made, the MacGuffin is always a map of some kind, and it's like,
are they doing another fetch quest?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, the map shows you where Thrawn should be in a galaxy. You had to know where the beginning point was and where it's going to. But the problem is I understand, the hyper whales or whatever the frig those guys were, but how, like they knew that these whales always end up taking people to this one spot. Because she's like, this is where she's like, this is where Thrawn is. He was only gone 20 years ago.
He was going to. All right, so. God, you're making me defend the show.
Yeah, and you're doing a great job, loser.
It's pointing out that they're in a different galaxy. Like they got space whaled into not even the outer rim, because if Star Wars is supposed to all take place in one galaxy,
right?
Where you have the core systems on the inside and the mid rim, and then the outer rim where like Tatooine and all those places. And all of that's happened. And then there's the uncharted regions, which are still part of the same galaxy. They're just outside of that zone.
Right.
This is the first time they've actually said, outside of like the expanded universe with the Yuuzhan Vong and some of the other stuff, where they're like, this is a whole other galaxy. And they didn't have the technology, and the people of the Star Wars galaxy don't have any hyperspace routes or ways to get there. So this is supposed to be a star chart from a ancient it's like almost Stargate, like where they had an ancient civilization that came from that galaxy, and so they were
don't you compare it to Stargate made more sense.
Yeah, that's the problem, Chad.
Stargate was because Stargate tried to be easy. Like they were like, this is cool, we're a goofy show, we can have fun with it.
It's a very serious show, thank you very much.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I took Stargate serious. Like,
how did they know where
clearly
sorry, buddy.
And then
that was good.
And then the Night Sister lady used her Night Sister force magic to be able to pinpoint which part of that galaxy is where Thrawn was in, because she was listening, and they have shown that, and Filoni created the Night Sisters, so it's all him. The Night Sisters can do stupid stuff with that, with their little green force magic. It doesn't make he's breaking
time out though.
rules, but that's how they did it.
Then how did Sabine get the same thing? How that map always went to that spot. It always went to that spot. It wasn't her forcing it to go to that spot. Sabine
you
did
are
the
a woman,
same
you
exact
can do
spot.
everything. That's really what it boils down to.
Right?
Did it go to the same spot, or did it just show that galaxy?
Same spot.
Hold on, let me
look
Sparrow this.
Now let's review the tape.
Because she even said, I know, Sabine goes, I know where it ends, but I don't, like, when she was like, well, where does it start? I don't know that part. But she knew where it went. So a millennia old temple, I think they said 2,000 or many millennia before, had a star chart that just was going to know where Thrawn was going to be because that's where the whales are from or some shit. Maybe.
Dude, what?
That's how I took
Funnily
it.
enough, was the temple built a long time ago in a galaxy far away?
Dude, no one's been there for like 2,000 years.
They did have the space whales on the star chart outer thing.
Right.
So I mean,
so that's different than a marine biologist, though, right? That's like an astrobiologist.
No, if you hit the golf balls into that whale, you got to get George Costanza to help you out.
Yes.
But what I'm gonna say is, and because it's stupid writing, I agree.
Yeah,
Boosh.
no,
I don't. I'm just it doesn't actually hold up. I could argue, if I was trying to defend it, that maybe this ancient civilization was, happy friends with the whales, and so they know the route.
That's the only thing you could agree, but they don't tell you.
Yeah, and that's the route that Thrawn got taken when Ezra force jumped him at the end of Rebels. But it still doesn't.
I can
it's
agree
still
with
stupid.
you on that. But
how do we know? How do they know that's where he is, though? Did they see him get taken away by the whales?
Well, the Night Sister is saying she's hearing Thrawn through time and space using her Night Sister powers.
Yes, but that's what I'm saying. Through time and space could be anywhere, anytime.
What is that in Rebels?
I'm saying it's badly written, but that's how they're.
What is that thing?
Why are you defending me so hard, little Chad?
Because there's so much other stuff that is even worse that we can just pick apart.
I know, but that's so huge, man. Like the idea that Sabine can find it too without having that. Maybe it's her force sensitivity that.
Oh my God, is she a Night Sister?
Wait. You said there was like a romantic thing going on between Sabine and Ahsoka, right?
No, the Sabine has the romance undercurrent with Ezra, is what it's supposed to be.
Oh, okay. Does
is she even looking for Ezra?
Well, no one is.
Well, she wants someone better than Ezra because it's good. Whoa.
Well played, sir.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you broke me. I'm broke. I don't know if I can go on anymore.
Where's Mad? Because he could sing. He could just start singing now.
Yeah, I wish I knew a song from better than Ezra.
What? And
I can't think of a song.
Do 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 do.
Little Chad, would you try to sing songs for people? Nobody knows what the hell you're talking about.
That's because I have no inflection in my syllables.
Dude, all I could say is it's just, once again, it's not as bad as an ancient knife lining up with a recent crashed starship.
And a starship that crashed in an ocean that's constantly moving.
Right. It's not as bad as that, but it's freaking bad. Can we agree on that?
Well, I feel like the quick stand that stops and lets you land was also one of the worst sciencey things.
Dude, the only thing I can argue for the knife that somehow, like with the star, with the Death Star and
where she stood in the right place.
The only thing I can argue for that is maybe the people who made it were in tune with the Force and they had Force-tuned technology, so they knew the position that it would be at the time that it would be where it needed to be.
Where she
was. They used the world between worlds to know it, and they fucking can't.
Right.
That's
don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it was a good explanation.
All right, I'm pulling it up.
Yeah,
and I'm thinking, and because I have to I don't want to have to rewatch this shit, but I will. Because I wasn't listening when the lady from Dathomir was going over. I'm rewatching the Sabine part. Yeah. All I think it's showing is the hyperspace route from our galaxy to theirs.
You have to go after it gets stolen.
I know.
And she asks her, and she says, "I know where he is. I know." So she says she knows where, but she doesn't know where to start. God, this is nerd shit. We are arguing about nerd shit in this damn terrible show. That's sad that we create this ourselves.
Here's the other thing that is a problem for the Star Wars guys. The entire concept now of this show is predicated on this whole MacGuffin to find a safe hyperspace route.
What? Disney predicated a show on a MacGuffin? That never happens.
But now let's go back to now Rise of Skywalker, where these effers were hyperspace skipping.
Yes.
And doing they made hyperspace a joke where it's like a human can just pop the dial like he's hitting the turbo button on a Street Fighter game.
Right,
and
where
like
Han
pop in
Solo
and out.
told you would die if you didn't calculate it correctly.
Exactly.
No,
Yeah.
dude,
And
you
it
had
start-
one of those controllers with the turbo button on it, so you could
Yeah.
just hold the button and then it just does it
No,
for
it just
you.
goes to show you how much
But, yeah,
better he was than Han Solo.
And well, and Disney Star Wars broke it from the first one, because in The Force Awakens, when Han's like, I can jump through a shield, I can manage to time my hyperspace jump to the millisecond fractional refresh
I don't
rate
remember
of a
that.
shield.
Okay,
Yep.
admittedly, I
Yep.
thought that was kind of cool.
That's how they got into Starkiller Base, was he said I can hyperspace through the shield.
Yeah,
'Cause it's
basically what he
refresh
said
rate.
was,
He
there was
like-
a fractional refresh rate on shields.
Wow.
And at normal speed, you'd get hit by the shield trying to pass
Right.
through it. But if you pull out of hyperspeed just a little bit late, you'll come out of hyperspace after the shield.
That's actually
But
kind of
but if you
cool,
come out
but-
after the shield, then the refresh rate means nothing because you're in hyperspace. You pass right through the shield anyway.
Yeah, like I said, I thought that was kind of cool. Ridiculous, but kind of cool.
I thought you couldn't pass through things in
When you're in
hyperspace.
in a hyperspace, you're in a pocket dimension flying
Right,
through
but you have
space.
to calculate your trajectory so you don't hit a star, or is
Yeah,
it that
when
you
you-
don't come
when
out?
Well, it's
come out,
anything
yeah.
with anything with
Okay.
any kind of gravitational pull or weight. You don't want to
Well,
run through
yeah.
it. You don't want to get too close to a planet. Like, that's in the expanded universe. They used to have interdictor star destroyers which created giant gravity wells, and it would
Okay.
actually keep Star Wars spaceships from going into hyperspace. That's how they would keep people from, like, you ever watch in the movies where everyone just magically escapes. They're
Right.
like, why don't they have something that can stop that? They do. They're giant gravity well star destroyers. When you're doing a fleet action in Star Wars, they would have those with them, and they would point the gravity cone right at the other ships, and they couldn't leave through hyperspace.
So that would have stopped them in Rise of Skywalker as they
Yes.
slowly jumped every once in a
That
while.
would have stopped them in a lot of situations.
Right?
Like
But
in
that's
the
interesting. I didn't know that.
in the Last Jedi, this giant like scimitar dreadnought whatever ship thing
Mhm.
should have had an entire fleet with it, because ships, and Slender can speak to this, ships of the line don't go by themselves.
Right.
They and
No, hell
should-
no.
it would have had this kind of ship, and they would have had the gravity wells pointed right at them, so they couldn't jump to hyperspace and would have just got dead.
Yeah,
Right.
look at our modern Navy, right? Like you don't
I'd
send
rather
out
not.
a ship, you send out a battle group.
Right.
And the battle group generally consists of a carrier, some destroyers, a cruiser. There's probably some submarines that you
Submarines,
don't
yeah.
know about circling around there. A
Yep.
frigate, subtender, supply
Yeah.
ships. Like
Yeah.
there's lots of stuff.
Yeah, man. It's shit. It's amazing how bad Disney Star Wars is. So we didn't even get really into the
But
show
what-
at all.
Why
Like-
do they want to get Thrawn for? What's in the Disney? What's the Disney version of them? When
Thrawn
He's
will-
only been in Rebels so far.
right, but Thrawn will be the rebirth of the Empire.
so
He's
they're
the
doing
emperor without
Yes,
the
ripping
baggage.
off.
so they're doing
They're
Heir
gonna-
of the Empire essentially.
Yes, and
in a way, yeah.
they're going to do Heir to the Empire with Ahsoka as Luke. It seems like they're going to, I feel like the Mara Jade is this new little apprentice girl
Yeah,
is going to end up being
oh,
Mara
right,
Jade
right,
for
right,
them,
right, right.
because she's the one who will, be bad and then come over to the
I
good
don't even
side.
think they're bad, dude. I don't think they're going to be bad. I think there's a distinct possibility they have a warped sense of what they're doing, but they're not actually bad. They're going to be the gray Jedi. You know what I mean?
I don't look. I
Oh,
don't
I
even
hate
mind
that
that
idea.
concept.
Me
too.
either. Me either.
Because if you're a Jedi and you survived Order 66, I
You're gonna
feel
be
like you're going
pissed.
to have a little bit of like, man,
Yeah.
being a Jedi didn't really help our group much. We seem to have that. Maybe we should kind of
Oh, here-
rethink things.
Here's the thing: Gray Jedi are actually a thing in the
Right.
extended universe.
In
Like,
the extended, right? Are
But,
they
I
I mean,
actually
that's
called
what
gray?
Ahsoka is basically. Ahsoka.
No,
is
that's the
one
thing.
of
That's
those.
Filoni
Yeah,
just said that. He didn't
that's a
prove
lie.
anything. He just said that. Oh no, she's like
She doesn't touch the dark side at all.
we haven't seen it. That's the point. Like to do that, you have to be perfectly balanced between the two.
Right.
That was the point of it. That
Right.
you there's no distinguishing between what you use on the light side and what you use on the dark. You'll use it all. That's the
Yeah.
point. It's not a
And
well, I'm only
neither
going to use
side
a little
will
bit of.
pull
well,
you.
and it's the perfect culmination of both the dark side and the light side, and it kind of pushes beyond the good and evil and goes, okay, the dark side has its purpose, the light side has its purpose.
Right.
When you can balance the two perfectly against one another, you create the ultimate Jedi, which is the great Jedi.
Right, exactly.
But the problem is you can't become a master of either. That's
Right.
I'm talking about a master of the art itself. You can't become a master of the dark side.
You cannot take either to the excess because they will basically it hamstrings you to never being as powerful as one who can use both.
Yeah, that's the problem with it.
Well, and that's where the best fighters like Jaina Solo, Mace Windu, that's why they had the purple lightsabers, right? They were the blue Guardian, lightsaber crystal mixed with the red Sith crystal because they used it for combat and didn't have any. They touch the dark side when they're fighting,
right?
And they can use it. There's a lot of that stuff in the expanded universe. There was a lot of stuff poorly written, and there was a lot of stuff really well written. It seems like Filoni's leaning into the poorly written.
Well, of course.
And Filoni likes to give plot armor to his women like no other. It is the most ridiculous thing. I mean, I have to see how many gut-stabbed people in Star Wars are going to survive before Qui-Gon Jinn gets to file a personnel complaint.
Dude,
who got stabbed in this one? Ahsoka?
No,
Sabine.
No, it was Sabine.
Oh,
and it went through her. It went through her right side where your
Sabine
liver
has She has a waist that's the size of a fucking
Not to mention,
so tiny.
Yeah.
And I was just rewatching it for the discussion, and the little Shin, the little Jedi, not Jedi girl, moves it around a little bit on the when she's stabbing her, she moves it up and down a little, so on the inside, it should have been doing a lot of organ damage. I remember it was in Face Off when he was when you stab him, twist it so that the wound won't
Yes, so the wound won't heal.
Yeah, she was that should have melted her internal organs.
Yeah,
and I don't. They're just well, we'll just put her on the Bacta and it'll be okay.
Right below her lung when she did the thing. What kills me too is the idea of a red kyber crystal is that you're pretty much torturing a kyber crystal, right? You're putting all your
it doesn't start that. It's any color it was, and then you you put pain and suffering into it and bleed it. You bleed the crystal.
So what's orange? Abusive boyfriend beats it up a little bit and then it's I'm sorry. I love you, baby.
After you make it suffer, you go, why'd you make me do that? I only do that because I love you. Don't make me do that again.
Slender, it's a gaslighting crystal.
Yeah, cool. There you go. So yeah, they're going to be on their own mission that's separate and blah blah blah. And their two names, is it Norse mythology that they're the wolves that chase after the moon? Those two are there. There's going to be something about them.
and Fenrir.
Yeah, their names kind of touch on that, right? That's what I got from it when I saw the names. And then you have the wolves in the painting.
There's Skull and Hati.
That's it, Skull and Hati. Right?
Skull,
that's their names, right?
Skaol, Skull.
Right? And they have in the mural I noticed there was the white and the black wolves of the mural.
That goes back to Rebels with
Rebels.
the
That's a Rebels photo, right?
wolves, whatever they called them. Loft wolves.
But that's a taken straight out of Rebels
which, by the way, Filoni let those things can phase through a planet, which was the weirdest thing. Did you not remember that episode towards the end of the last season? They're being chased by Thrawn's people. They get on the Loft wolves, and the wolves actually phase through the planet so they can get away.
Dude,
they use the Force to travel through matter.
I gotta watch Rebels. What about that, Slender?
I'm sure this has been brought up, but our discussions has led me to a question.
Oh,
and if when you do make the jump to hyperspace, you go into kind of a separate dimensional area and move along that line.
Right.
How did jumping to hyperspace in episode 8 cause them to tear through the Star Destroyer ship and destroy it?
Because she one, she had blue hair, so don't question it.
I think it was wasn't it pink, purpley pink?
It was
whatever it was.
I don't remember.
Tina, was it purpley pink Laura Dern's hair in that movie?
Yes, it was definitely. It was like a lilac purple, I thought.
Oh, lilac.
gross.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's
so
make sure we get it right.
she came out of hyperspace partially, or something.
Well,
That's how
lilac
it was.
is a pink purple, whereas in lavender is a blue purple. But anyway, just want to clarify that.
I think it is Slender when in the way it's supposed to work is if you travel through the line that a solid object is supposed to occupy, you run into that object and die. It's like a nuclear explosion. Like the atoms hit the atoms. It's stupid.
So do
Like,
they have like space
the old
traffic
rules made a lot
controllers on
more
all the
sense.
planets that are directing the ships to where they can go?
Well, that's what the Nava computers are supposed to do.
Right.
Oh.
But like
That's why I
you know,
remember Han Solo in the first one. We can't just do
Right.
this. We need the calculations, or you'll run it. And you'll get too close to a star. You'll run into a planet. You can't just.
supernova.
He was making a point of how stupid it is to just try to jump to light speed on your own.
Boosh, I would say that this is a double Dylan or a double D.
It could be.
No, you know what? This is worse. This is Dylan's boyfriend, the baby.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, this is really the Bud Light can Dylan Mulvaney.
Shit.
Because
That's
it's
sad. This show sucks. I'm
but
sorry.
and here's the thing.
Tina,
I guarantee
haven't-
you, Sabine. We haven't even talked about Hera and Ahsoka, who are all Filoni creations,
right?
Are gonna guaranteed to survive any and all things that happen in this show.
Well, we
Iron
know
Woman,
Ahsoka
hear me
does
roar.
because she's in the series later on. Because this is set before that, isn't it? Because isn't this just after
No,
the
this
fall?
is after.
So this is
No, this
after
is-
the Mandalorian.
This is
All
after the
those seasons?
Mandalorian. I thought.
Gotcha.
She
Yeah,
was-
so
she was
the
talking
latest
about-
point in the timeline is apparently the end of that like they reshot the scene from Rebels season 5 or whatever the last scene was, where Sabine's looking at the mural she painted and Ahsoka shows up to pick her up to go find Ezra. That's supposed to take place after Ahsoka helped Grogu go to Luke and then also helped him leave. So that is the latest point in the timeline from the shows we've seen.
So after so after the 2-year time jump and the all right, okay. That's weird.
We haven't heard from. She only saw some of it, so you can't hold it against Tina. But what is your take on the 2/3 you saw?
I think I saw maybe 40 minutes of the first episode, so I was pretty close to the end. You know what? It's hard for me to judge because I was so confused. I didn't watch the animated series, so I don't know who these characters are. And it reminded me very much like the beginning of what's the series that was about the people that happened before the movie that wasn't part of the 9 trilogies?
Lost.
Rogue One.
Rogue One.
Thank you. Yeah, I never. That's good.
Rouge
I never saw Rogue One. So when I was watching, the series that was the prequel to that, I had no idea what was going on there either. Andor, yeah. So the only thing I saw is like, well, I kind of remembered the big junkyard planet that they were stealing stuff from in the first couple episodes of Andor, but other than that, I feel bad rating it. I'm not enjoying it.
Give us your feel. What was your feel? Did you enjoy it?
My feel. I'm not a huge Rosario Dawson fan, and it seems to be like every other Star Wars endeavor. There's like this big mission that they have to go on, that they have to solve a puzzle to how to fix it, and nobody does.
Yeah, you mean Disney Star Wars. It's Disney Star Wars. People die in the other ones. I mean, his aunt and uncle didn't do too well. Thinking
that's
about
very true.
as a kid,
You're right. I was thinking the other series, but
yeah.
You're right.
But you're right, and it's what I feel like it has with Andor is there's no like everybody's very droll. Is that a good word? They're very like monotone. They're very, even when Sabine, who feels like she was ghosted by her master, like there's no tension. There's nothing. There's like, hey, you should really give her another chance with the chick with the goggles.
Do they replace
you're right.
tension with sass?
What's that?
I guess you could say that they replaced tension with sass, but you're right. I mean, everybody was like Ahsoka because I got, okay, fine. So Ahsoka's the big, failed Jedi, but she's calm and relaxed and doesn't, react to things in any way. And this whole show they were all like that.
Yeah, everybody except for the one with the green. She just seemed like the, shucks, I know everything's going to work out, but with no feel with it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, she's like,
Right.
you're going to end up,
There's no
being your master
passion
again.
anymore.
Yeah, there was nothing. There was no yelling. There was nothing. I mean, give me a Princess Leia, from Jump Street. Yes, there was sass, but there was also yelling and emotion, and nothing. It was
what
so
about
boring.
Han Solo?
Brothers,
What do you
sister
think?
relationships,
Han Solo, we're fine. Everything's fine up here. We're fine. How are you?
Yeah, one of the best parts of that movie. I swear.
It's a
I laugh
boring
at that every time.
conversation anyway.
Yeah, it's just. I'm
Well, the
telling
scene
you,
with
like,
Sabine holding that golden orb thing, and they're
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go off by myself and contemplate this thing." And like, really, the thing that everybody's killing each other for.
right,
They're
and,
just
and
gonna
the worst
wander
part,
off,
right,
whatever.
and but Ahsoka's like, don't do that. I'm gonna go in the other room for a few minutes with the door shut, though. Make sure you don't leave. And when she comes back, her
Wait,
milk's
did
on the
she
ground.
leave?
Yeah, she
Oh,
left.
God.
Shocking,
How'd you see that
right?
coming?
And guess what? Because she left, she lost the map. It's like, and gets stabbed through the gut, but yet survives.
Yeah, Disney has a habit of our characters are going to be conveniently stupid so that plot can happen. Because we're not smart enough to make plot happen. So we rely on the characters to be stupid enough to make plot happen.
Ooh, I figured it out. I just thought it because Han Solo died when he got stabbed by Kylo, and then he kicked him off the bridge. Maybe there's something in the Star Wars galaxy where the male anatomy, when you get stabbed in the gut, has a key organ versus the female anatomy. Because it's always the women have been surviving stabbings.
No, not true. Not true. The Grand Inquisitor.
Oh, that's right. Is he? But do we know he's a man?
Yeah,
you assumed his gender there.
Yeah, and he was a different
he did
alien.
say that they did say, or he said that he survived by his rage alone. So it could have been a woman.
Yeah, definitely a woman. Time of the month.
So if you hit the woman and she's PMSing, she'll live.
Dude, apparently, that is like immortality for them. So much rage there.
Right, and don't forget, like at the very beginning, they make the men stupid. Like at the very beginning, they have Ahsoka captured in the Mandalorian. I forget her name. It starts with an M. She's the Night Sister descendant. She's in this ship, and all of a sudden, a small little transport ship comes up that's definitely looks like an Empire transport ship. First off, and they're giving old Jedi codes, and the Admiral's like, "Let's have them come on. I want to see these Jedi." Like, and then he walks down with like.
Can we also talk about
guys.
how the Jedi codes would have predated Order 66 from the Clone Wars era?
Yes.
I'd be like, I'm
Just
pretty
shoot
sure
this
that I would
fucking
be the stupidest commanding officer of a ship of all time to
Should've
like
just shot
let them come on when we're transporting a very high-ranking, important military prisoner.
Yes.
I mean that's the kind of thing the U.S. military might do now.
Right.
So.
Right, and it's like six of the weakest looking guards with them, security officers. 6 of the weakest looking ones.
Well, the New Republic believes diversity is their strength, Sporking.
Oh yeah. Well, when she's tearing through them with a lightsaber, the one guy can't even get his gun out of his holster.
That was one of the. I went back and when I watched that, that was the choreography of that fight was really bad. I love Ray Stevenson, but he was not like selling the lightsaber blocking. He was slowly just moving it back and forth in one direction, like on his chest.
Right.
He wasn't like, and it was magically everyone's just shooting in those 2 spots at the exact pace of his lightsaber movements.
Right.
In all fairness, he's used to using guns, so.
He's gone now.
Yeah.
It was
R.I.P. Punisher.
Yeah, he looked the part. I enjoyed how he almost gave me the
if he was rocking the Pulo from Rome like level of energy, he would have been fine. But he didn't have that. Someone should have yelled 13th, and
he would have fucking went nuts. Yeah, so I mean, from the get-go, men are incompetent once again, and the women are the only protagonists and one of the strongest, or 2 of them are like the strongest enemies. Like, it's just, I'm so sick of this. Like, Dave Filoni, just say it. The Force is female. No man should be able to tap into the Force ever again in Star Wars. That's it. We're done. It was a terrible show. We've talked about it for 54 minutes, and we're not even past the first scene. That's how bad this show was.
All right, so
Did it not
episode
get any
2.
better?
Yeah, episode 2. What even happened?
I didn't even watch episode.
Was that episode
they
2?
start in the hospital where she's recovered.
Right.
The Ray Stevenson and his little girlfriend go and bring the map to the Night Sister.
Right.
David Tennant Robot talks to Ahsoka and Sabine to convince them to be best buddies and Padawan and Master again.
Right.
Sabine gives
That's
herself a
very
haircut.
old.
Yeah. Because Tina can support this. When girls decide to make a life change, a haircut has to happen
with a dagger, and it looks perfect.
What happens if you want to make a life change and you're a bald chick? What do you do then?
You get a wig.
Yeah.
You get
tattoo your head,
or you get a tattoo.
Your nails did.
I was gonna say, if you're a bald chick, you'd probably get a tattoo. Not
I know
necessarily
Sinead
on the
O'Connor
head.
just kept changing her name.
Oh, yeah.
She's not doing that anymore, is she?
Yeah, no, she ain't. Who beat you? The Pope did. Well,
wow.
Okay. She might have been right on that one. I don't know. No, I'm not saying it. I didn't say it.
No, that was John Paul too. He was good
John
people's.
Paul. He was good people's.
It was
He
Nazi
wasn't a
Pope that was
Nazi.
moving
He
around
was
the other
not
ones.
a Nazi.
I miss John Paul too. I really do.
Yeah, what's he up to lately?
Not to mention John Paul too had like that look-alike that was in Naked Gun and all the
I
other
think the
shit.
only thing John Paul II is up to now is daisies.
Well, hasn't he officially been sanctioned? Isn't he a saint now?
No, he has
I don't
been
think so.
beatified. He's not a saint yet.
But isn't Teresa a saint?
Have they attributed
there's
3
actually
miracles?
incredibly strict criteria to
I know,
qualify
like
for
3
sainthood.
miracles.
You've got to have at
3
least
miracles?
two verified miracles,
Yep.
and one
I thought it was
that's not
3.
verified.
Oh,
No, it's 2.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the
Thank you, Jewish guy.
the nun who was mother
Knows
of
more
the
than me.
Dominican nuns for the grade school that the high school I graduated from.
Yeah.
She went through all the steps. So she gets beatified. That means that there's at least one miracle and certain other requirements are made. And then after that you can move. Then they actively search for additional miracles. And then if they can
Really?
find
And
3,
they
then
find them. Come on.
then you become a saint. But yeah, no, I didn't think Teresa was a saint yet.
Oh, someone told me this recently. That's why I was like shocked because I was like, I would have thought
What-
I've
what-
heard that.
what-
I
She
thought
did saint though.
Teresa was stuck at 2 miracles. I didn't think they found a third.
I wasn't
What
sure,
were
and
her
I'm
2
not a big
miracles?
Teresa fan anyway because I've heard some yeah.
The
Yeah,
ones I remember
It's like
was-
you don't need medicine, just pray harder, kind of stuff about.
Oh, one
it.
of them people.
I remember that one of them involved like using water to heal someone, and I think another one was like a rose grew out of her chest while she was sick.
Yeah, so the thing is the water that cured someone, they were dying of dehydration, so that makes sense.
Exactly.
Mother
I mean, that is
Teresa was
generally the cure,
canonized as
yeah.
a saint in September 4th, 2016.
That's what I thought.
Okay,
Really?
well,
What is
Oh,
she the
okay,
saint
cool.
of?
Saint of like really poor people.
Let's see.
And
Because imagine if you're like the saint of
Beaten
Cobb
men.
salad or something weird. You're like, damn it, my whole entire life, but I'm the saint of something weird like that.
dude, if I could be the saint of garlic, I'm there.
oh, that would be, I would want to be chocolate.
Yeah, I don't think every saint is a
That's
patron
good,
saint
too.
though.
Oh, like what is that? A what saint? I
A
went to
patron.
Catholic school and I don't know any of this stuff. So a patron saint is like Saint Jude.
Well,
Right, exactly.
there are lots of patron saints. Like I have
Paul McCartney.
a pendant of Saint Christopher because he's the patron saint of sailors, travelers, and things that are lost.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's lost. I thought
There
there
are
was.
there are so many patron saints of things that are lost though.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. 'cause
Yeah,
my
that one's
mom
a
used
pretty
to pray
easy
to
one.
a different one. What was it?
There's a lot of shit that gets lost,
Who's
so
the
that you
drug
can't,
addict
be all
one?
on to
Yeah, because Saint
the
Jude
patron
is
saint of drug addicts is
I used to know this.
yeah, it's at all of the bloody AA meetings.
Yeah, well, my mom used to pray. It worked finally.
Saint Maximilian Mary Colby.
No, I don't remember her ever
It's
saying.
the-
That
it's a-
I have
it is-
never heard of, but it sounds like a character that you would find in a Fallout game.
Or
Yeah.
or in
Right.
Richie
Mother
Rich.
Teresa is the
Or-
patron saint of World Youth Day and the Missionaries of Charity.
Just that one day though.
Oh, Saint
Lame.
Matthias. I'm sorry. Saint Matthias is the patron saint of alcoholics, where the first one was
Matthias,
patron
yeah, I
saint of
remember
addiction.
Matthias.
I think she used to say something to them.
There's
but
a
there was
Rodham,
another
Rodham.
name.
Oh, fuck, what is it?
Maybe it was Lost Souls. Maybe it was, you know what? It might have been Lost Souls. That's who she prayed to. Who's that? We're really going off topic, and I love it because we're done with talking Ahsoka. I want to talk aliens.
There's a Saint Camillus, who's the patron saint of the sick and of addicts.
No,
Who's the
Lost
patron
Souls.
saint of aliens?
And somebody else said that, and another, according to Catholic.org, St. Jude is the patron saint of substance abusers.
Okay,
I
so she
believe the
used
patron
to?
saint of aliens is Mork from Orc.
Nano.
No, you know what it was? St. Jude is the saint of lost causes.
Right.
That's why my mom
Right.
prayed to him. Yeah,
Ah.
that was definitely a
No,
lost
it
cause.
was Mark.
That's a
Mark
terrible
Rowan.
thing to name your hospital for kids.
It was
Hey,
it was
Jude.
it was Saint Mark
Yeah.
something or other. Like it was almost like it was an Asian name. I
You know what,
remember.
though?
Mark Yo.
You know,
In
Asian
Saint-
people can be Catholic, right?
Yeah,
Saint
no, I'm
Jude-
saying it was an Asian name. I couldn't remember it.
YouTube says
Dude,
I've
you-
been what?
Yeah, that's free watch time. Awesome.
Does it really say that?
Oh, let's have a look.
I'm gonna take a look too.
The reason why the hospital was named for St. Jude is he is the patron saint of lost causes. So, what's his face? Prayed to him and said, if I, help me get that first break, and if I'm able to support my family, I'll do something in honor of you.
And,
then
that's the first person to open St. Jude or donate.
And
Danny
yes,
Thomas,
it's
that's who it
Danny
was.
Thomas. Thank
Oh,
you. It was
Danny
Marlo
Thomas,
Thomas is the one who was explaining it in the commercials. Yeah, that if
Marlo
yeah,
Thomas, was she in Dynasty?
she was that girl, wasn't she? That girl.
Oh, okay. I knew she.
What?
was somebody
Who's
like
that girl?
It's a TV show.
Who's that
sorry.
lady?
Sorry, I thought you were talking about the that song from the '80s from Arithmetics.
4 hours ago. I don't see that. I'm sorry, I missed what you said. It just
Well,
says
mine-
she's
mine
streaming
says she
This is
61
minutes
Rachel's
minutes.
ago.
mom on Friends, right?
Yeah, I think so. Rachel's mom. Or no, that's Stacy.
It's got it going on.
He's gotta put some
if you can name the
clothes
band,
on.
I'll be proud of you because most people get it wrong. Don't Google it.
Is it
Dude, I
Puddle
never
of Mud?
remember
I don't
band
know.
names.
No, that was She Fucking Hates Me. It was
Fountains of Wayne.
Bowling of. Okay, I was gonna say
Fountains
Bowling
of
for
Wayne.
Columbine.
I
No,
mean,
that's
one
not
hit
it.
wonder knowledge is important.
It is. It is actually Fountains of Wayne wasn't.
The
bad. They had
patron
other
saint of
songs.
one hit wonders.
Dude, when it comes to relying on knowing specific names of things, I defer to a little chat on that one.
Yeah, I'm usually.
I
terrible.
work in the broad strokes.
I'm usually terrible. So
If you were Garth Brooks, you would work in the Red Strokes.
oh,
But I see a red door. I don't want to paint it black.
Damn it! You
Oh.
stole my joke. I was literally about to say that.
well
Are you
done.
talking,
Joe.
are you talking about, is that a Kevin Bacon or Rolling Stones? Which do you want to make that a reference for?
I'm gonna go with Rolling Stones.
I'll go
'cause
with
that's
Why
a
would it be
good
Kevin
reference.
Bacon?
You don't remember the Stir of Echoes, where the entire ad campaign was him remembering that he could play Paint It Black because he was having like past life memories?
Oh shit, no.
Stir of Echoes, people. Kevin
I remember
Bacon.
the movie. Yeah, dude. I forgot about it. 17 likes, 9 viewers, 4 hours ago. Yeah. You didn't have to say the 9 viewer thing. We don't even have that now. God, I remember when the show used to get like 100 and something. It's all right though. People, you'll come back because we're gonna talk UFOs. Because for some reason today it was trending and people feel like disclosure of the Roswell crash is coming out soon from the government, which I would say no, because that would definitely prove that they have never told the truth about it, and that they have alien technology, and then people would start pushing for them to release the technology so that we can use it, and blah, 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 blah. So I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think they will admit that for maybe as long as our country survives.
Well, some people are saying that the reason why they want proof that aliens exist is to move toward that whole one world country order kind of thing, so that we can
Great Reset.
right, yeah, so we can now unite to fight the aliens as opposed to fighting each other.
We're citizens of the universe now. National sovereignty
Can I-
doesn't matter if we need to get
Can I
global.
just say that the government's got me so paranoid now about after all this stuff that if they said that you needed to unite into a one world government to fight the aliens, I'd be like, what are the aliens? Why are they? They must be good. They must be the people we
Right.
want to,
Right?
What do the aliens have to say?
I'm Team
Because-
Alien.
Yeah, I'm
Sign
Team
me up.
Alien.
Well, this is
Exactly.
if you go back, Edgar Mitchell is one of the people I think is the biggest clue to the government lying about aliens and aliens being a real thing that happened. He is the sixth man, I think, that walked on the moon, or the fifth man. He was an astronaut. He had high level clearances. And he said Roswell was real, and I have seen secret files which show the government knew about it, which is this. Maybe we'll go read that. But he passed away a few years ago, but he never once was like, no, this is real. The aliens are real. They were on the moon. Buzz Aldrin had moments where he was honest and then took it back. If you don't remember some of those crazy moments with him, he went down to Antarctica, and one of the things he tweeted out was like, we're all in trouble. What was it?
He went down to Antarctica and said, there's a wall, man. There's a flat earth, and you don't even know.
Dude, one of my favorite
It's right near the entrance of the Hollow Earth, man. You won't believe it.
Right. Well, one of my favorite tweets ever from the Flat Earth Society was, we have Flat Earth members all over the globe.
Yeah. Can I just tell you, this last weekend I was around hanging out with one of my friends, and he apparently, I didn't realize that he is apparently a moon landing conspiracy theorist, because he's like, how did the astronauts get through the Van Allen belt? And I was like,
well, that's a big question.
I'm pretty sure that we just were fine. We sent monkeys up there to make sure that we'd know how quickly they die.
But do you know we don't know how to go through it now?
No, here's the thing, though.
We don't know how to land anything now because we
lost the information.
Well,
they said it flooded in a basement.
That's the difference.
Yeah, they said it. Oh, go ahead, buddy.
Well, X-ray radiation is deadly if you spend all day in it.
Mm-hmm.
But you can be exposed for an amount of time before it kills you.
No, I understand that, but we don't even know how to get to the moon now. A couple years back,
that's because we stopped trying.
NASA scientists admitted before we transferred files over to computers and scanned it all in, they had a flood in the basement, and the information that taught us or showed us how to get to the moon, what they used, like down to the smallest bolt, in the rockets and stuff was lost, and that's why we can't get back. We can't send people to the moon.
Here's the real story.
If only there was a billionaire that liked to build rockets.
Right.
That we knew of.
You guys keep talking because I'm going to find this.
I was going to say, here's what we were shooting monkeys up there because we had former Nazi scientists who were like, if you experiment on living things, you can find out a lot of information pretty fast. So they were probably like, we're going to shoot them up there. We'll find out what the lethal dosages are and time for being in this radiation zone. And that's what's all written down there. And now we can't get away with, unfortunately, animal, experiments like that, where we could, there was a reason they sent chimps up all the time in those early rockets.
And the other thing is there's plenty of lightweight materials that will reflect X-ray radiation. Like, it doesn't have to be lead. Lead is just one of the cheap alternatives to using the more expensive stuff. But if you're sending a spaceship up, you can get through the Van Allen belt without. It's fine.
You throw a dosimeter on the astronauts so you track how much radiation they're actually exposed to.
Yeah, I mean, shit. There were parts of the ship that I worked on where you had to wear a dosimeter on your belt just in case, and I wasn't a nuke.
Yep, I'm pretty sure.
I was muted, but yeah, I understand what you guys are saying. It's not about just the radiation. What I'm saying is, how do you lose the ability to go back to the moon when you were there?
Because
how many
the Decepticons didn't want us back on the moon.
Okay, that's a better answer than what you guys were just freaking giving.
Dude, here's the thing. I've got a game called Kerbal Space Program, right? I've landed on the moon probably 50 freaking times. It ain't that hard. Figure it out.
All right, here we go. I'm gonna find.
We know that the Chinese just landed on the south pole of the moon.
Was it the Russians who just had their one crash into it, and India just launched a probe that landed on the moon allegedly as well?
It was India, then not China. I apologize.
Yeah, I think China's already been up there, so India became the fourth country to now land something on the moon.
Dude, I'd rather land on that platinum asteroid in the Kuiper Belt. Like that's what we need to be working on landing on.
No, the moon hydrogen was it helium-2 is on the moon, so that's gonna trillions right there.
So if there's an Indian that lands on the moon, technically that's 2 planets where the biggest population are Indians.
Oh, that was.
Oh man!
I thought you
All
were
right,
going to go with a different kind of joke about a
Yeah.
convenience store, but that's good. That works.
All right, here we go.
They did have a meme with. Oh, I'm sorry, you're trying to show
No,
something.
no, go ahead.
They did have memes with 7-Elevens superimposed on the moon.
Over the years, I made several videos regarding so-called astronaut Don Pettit, basically the head of mockery when it comes to NASA.
Is this
I
just
find it
audio?
very interesting what he says during this interview from a few months back. He basically states,
"Son of a bitch." Hold on.
You should change that back now that you're doing Wednesdays, so you don't have to keep confirming.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'll be back. Confused.
Keep talking about the moon, guys. Keep talking about the moon.
It's pretty. It has phases. You can worship it.
It really made a terrible Disney Plus show.
The moon in the Forgotten Realms lore is cooler because there's a chunk of it that got broke off. So there's little tears.
Oh yeah, well in Doctor Who, the moon is just a giant egg for a giant space whale.
Oh,
That's
in
true. That's
Game
true.
of in Game of Thrones, their moon, one of their 2 moons cracked open and birthed dragons.
And in Game of Thrones, there's also a moon door that a really effed up kid was throwing people out of.
Make
In
them
Pitch
fly,
Black.
mommy. Make them fly.
In Pitch Black, every once in a while, the moons would all align with the planets and create a perfect eclipse, and then the space dragons would come out of their caves and eat all the people on the planet.
Oh, quick! What's everybody's favorite moon that orbits a gas giant that could hold life? I'm going to go with Europa.
Titan.
Europa.
No, Europa.
Oh, I would say
No,
I
I
was
prefer
going to say
Europa.
Titan, but I could see Europa. That was the name of our newsletter when we were in high school. I took European history AP course, and we had to create newspaper article thingamajiggers, newsletters. And that was before there were things like
also
publishing
took
software.
AP European History. That was a fun course.
Yeah,
Okay,
my
it
son did
says
too. He really enjoyed it. Oh, sorry.
Share tab audio.
Mhm.
All right, I did that. Now I'm going to share it. Okay, shit. It's telling me I'm changing my name. Okay, I removed it. I added
Wait.
it. Okay. Yep.
Hit play.
Okay, I'm going to hit play. Slow down. I thought you said something else.
lines. Take a listen.
I'd go to the moon in a nanosecond.
That's too
The
fast.
problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore. We used to, but
I don't think we got there that fast. back
destroyed
then.
that technology, and it's a painful process to build it back again. But going to Mars should be one of the next Series G, and it's a painful process to build it back again. But going to Mars should be one of the next series of steps that humans do. The first step should be going back to the moon for a number of technical reasons and exploration reasons, and then after that, Mars, maybe high orbit in Venus atmosphere, maybe going to Europa. There's all kinds of targets to go to, places of interest in our solar system.
I bet this guy really
the
wants
only
to visit
limit
Uranus.
to human future is in our own imaginations.
So let's go back to
Second.
it again. He's
Is
going
it
in
just
Second.
me?
What? Yeah.
Or he sounds kind of special.
Okay, but he's a scientist. All right.
But do you
Or no,
hear it?
NASA
Like, he
astronaut.
sounds kind of special.
Well, are you saying he's a little fatarded?
Frittata.
I am wondering.
There's a spectrum.
He's
My
probably
son,
like an Asperger's like scientist spectrum.
There's
Yeah.
no longer Asperger's, guys.
What?
yeah, my son,
we got,
my
I
son
just
is on the
learned that one.
spectrum, but he's like
Wait, what?
brilliant when it
Asperger's
comes
isn't
to
real?
math.
She's saying her son isn't on the spectrum. You guys are interrupting her. Yeah, it's not real. Okay, no, go ahead, Gina.
No,
So he's on the spectrum.
Yeah, he's on the spectrum. So he's
Which
got
is-
dyslexia, and
do
he
too.
has the disorder where he can't perceive emotion on people's faces.
Oh, yeah. I have a buddy
Yeah.
like that. His
I
Oh,
wife-
thought
yeah,
that
yeah.
was Asperger's.
He's my ex-wife.
That's
yeah.
what Asperger's
Well, yeah.
was.
It-
Asperger's
that's
was.
part of what Asperger's was.
they-
Exactly.
They felt
But
like it
when
was a
comes
two
to-
catch-all.
Right, because when it comes to tests like the ASVAB, if I'm pronouncing that correctly,
The military aptitude test.
That is
exactly,
the ASVAB,
and
yeah.
the
ASVAB?
the SATs and those kind of things. Well, he'll get like 100% score on math, but then the
Right.
reading is like
I'm
trash.
just like him. I mean, I can read expressions on people's faces, but when it comes to dyslexia. Like I had no time limit in the SATs and I still didn't score very high on the English portion, but I got into college because of my math portion.
Exactly.
The problem also I have is writing. Like I still do it. I have to stop and really look at, like, I'll screw up who and how. Like I'll put the wrong word, thinking I put the right word, but spelling the incorrect word. Like they said from thought to pen, I lose something right there. I mean, I even got my IQ test done at Yale. Like they did some research on what was, like my IQ was pretty decent. I'm not frittata, but it was like.
So you're saying that little chart from Forrest Gump, you weren't below the line?
No, I was like over 120.
So that's pretty solid.
Yeah,
And
it was over 120.
Yeah, that's actually really high.
Yeah,
100 is supposed to be average, right?
Yes.
Yes, 100.
I
Yeah, we
was
don't have an IQ for Jake,
1
but
point getting off Mensa in Australia. I was annoyed.
Wow.
Jerks.
Cool.
It used to be 140, and then they moved it up to 145.
I went and looked it up for you guys because it sounded like you were curious, but ASFAB stands for Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery, and it is the test that determines what jobs you're qualified for in the
It's the first step to seeing if you can join the military by figuring out an acronym, to be able to shorten things.
If you're
because
going to be a Marine or you're going to be in the Air Force, which is it going to be, guys? Crayons?
I thought ASFAB was the sound that you make when you make the fighting noise under your arm with your hand.
That's good.
I think
better.
I thought that was
similar.
Is dyslexia now
is what
part of the
happens at
spectrum?
the Navy when
Yes,
they're out
dyslexia
there
is now
eating.
part of the spectrum.
Oh, motherfuckers. So I'm on the spectrum now because I got
Kevin?
dyslexia.
Kevin, I agree that the moon may be a satellite that was put into place. It's all the theories. It could be comparable to that. Like it's
Oh
comparable.
my God.
Dude, the first it was, we caught a satellite. Next, it was one that crashed into the planet, which is, I would say, probably what it is. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I believe that it's definitely
it's
a
not
satellite.
like the Earth is the only planet with a satellite orbiting it.
Well, but we're the only one that has one. We're the only one that has one that's
Mars
like
only
the
has
perfect
two, right?
size.
Doesn't Mars have two?
Everyone else has at
Phoebus
least two. Everyone else has at least two.
That's not like that's a huge number over one.
Well, it's kind of weird that there is no other one that we know of that.
Well,
has
and it's also
one.
kind of weird that
also
we're
in
the
the
only one that has
Goldilocks
life on
zone.
it.
Yeah,
So
we're the
what-
Goldilocks zone.
Which I agree with. Mars at one point was livable atmosphere. The thing I
but then
believe
John Carter got in charge and he screwed
that
it all up.
fucker in his
But here's the thing, Scott, and and I gotta point this out. You're like, oh, we're the only one that has one.
Yeah,
that's weird. Mercury doesn't have any. Venus doesn't have any.
Right, but
we're a little further out, so we picked up one. Mars is a little further than that. It picked up two. The gas giants picked up a fuck ton because they've got bigger gravity wells around them. Like,
yeah, but go to other solar systems.
You go to
the
other
solar
solar
system
systems.
formed out pretty much the way that
I thought we
understand.
couldn't
Look,
even-
I'm just
have we
explaining
even-
what people say about the moon stuff.
I don't trust the science on when they tell me that unless they don't have like when they're like we found a planet in another solar system. It has this many moons because they're doing their little algorithm on what the Doppler shifts or whatever radio shifts are.
The way the light also reflects. Yep.
And these are the same scientists who are like, man, we're doing like the climate is changing. We're going to do the scale. What's the scale we're looking at? 50 years. Because that's what we want to look at.
Kevin has a valid point. Like I'm just saying, if you look at it not as, oh, that's a stupid, conspiracy thing. If you look at the two different theories, is it more likely, or is it out of the, realm of possibility that an ancient, alien race that's 1 billion years ahead of us wanted to create a planet that's in a Goldilocks zone, but was spinning too fast on its axle to actually allow life to form? They brought a moon into its pole, its gravitational pull, to slow that down and create a planet that can actually form a life that can grow to be able to look beyond itself. I mean, it was spinning so fast until we actually grabbed hold of the moon. Now, they said it crashed into it. They show that the moon rocks are also rocks that we have on Earth. I get that. How is it hollow? Don't know. I mean, it rang like a bell. Why are all the craters that hit it, no matter the size, the same depth? There's nothing that goes any deeper than, I forgot the actual depth, but they're all about the same depth. No matter the size, no matter the impact crater, they're all the same depth. And they don't go deeper than a certain mileage. I think it's like a mile or two.
You know what answer is, Scott?
What?
The answer is any explanation is probably about equally plausible, and we'll never know for sure.
And I agree with you on that. I completely, but what gets me mad is telling, like, people come up with the idea where their formula, I mean, it's plausible. I mean, you have to be arrogant to think that there's no possibility an alien race is so above us that they're just like, hey, let's see what happens if we slow down this rotation of this planet.
Let's slow down the rotation, put the species on there, and speed up their evolution.
Because their evolution
flew.
Happens.
Or
and
maybe
it's also, go ahead, please.
We could just easily be like the dirty food scraps that a kid left in the corner of his room,
right?
And we're the mold growing.
I also like the theory that we are the remnants of the species that was on Mars before it lost its atmosphere. When we go into space,
you're going the Thundercats origin route.
I love this one. Well,
I just don't care.
Okay, well that's good. That's good. It's my fucking channel, so I'll talk about whatever I want. No,
I'm just saying the cause is not of a concern to me.
Right. I mean, they're not coming down and beating us.
If I grab a sword now and I go Thundercat, so will that actually cause the Sword of Omens to create?
Well, that will cause
because
if
we are on Third Earth now,
to help you wherever you may be.
Third Earth. I find it interesting though. They have
that wasn't the Sword of Omens. You're not going to fool me.
That was Sting. I'll find a fucking what? I was about to say a troll. I'm sorry. Yeah, that was bad. I got excited. You're in my head right now. Something I find interesting though is as humans, when we go into space, I always say this wrong. Our circadian rhythm goes from 24 hours to 23.5.
We also age slower. Yeah,
right. It actually matches a day on Mars. Our eyes are better at sight for a sun that's more like dusk, which would be Mars. The gravitational pull on this planet and the things we do our backs aren't made for it. You know, we're not like gorillas or other species. No other species that we know of has back problems. At such
dogs
young
have
ages.
back problems.
Yeah, when they're fucking
but that's
old
a human. That's a human created problem.
Like you get like a dachshund
and Skeletor is 2 years old.
All I know is
I find them interesting. That's what I like.
I found a video or an explanation. Did you know there was some crazy lady astronaut who like broke all the toilets on the International Space Station because she wanted to get home earlier, and then she actually
Russian?
No, it was American, and she actually drilled a hole in one of the Soyuz capsules to try to make them leave. Like Russia is filing charges against it. I found the story because Russia. Someone shared that Russia was.
Oh God, her name's Karen. Really, you can't write this shit.
Seriously, is it really?
That'd be awesome if it was. I just well, that's kind of crazy. Also, isn't that going to crash to Earth in like another 15, 20 years?
I thought the International Space Station was permanently up there.
No, at some point it's supposed to crash into the Pacific, I want to say.
I thought that was Skylab.
China calculated it already. Up there that they were saying the orbit is unstable and it's probably going to crash back into the Earth.
Yeah.
But I didn't think that was the International Space Station.
Oh, maybe I misheard what they said. Let me look. Enter. I do this when no one else is speaking, so speak. Speak, anybody?
What? What are you doing?
You just speak. I'm looking.
We're supposed to be talking about something right now.
Sorry, I thought we were looking at what you were doing.
Yeah, I'm just watching and wondering what's going on here. Kind of confused. So
is it another satellite that might be?
International Space Station to crash down to Earth in 2031.
Oh wow, that's not too far from now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not even 8 years.
Some say 2030, some say 2031 in the Pacific Ocean, known as Point Nemo. Which,
Oh,
dude,
I hate that dude.
that blows my mind. I never heard of it until like recently, and I was
Why
like,
did we build
why
something
is
that
that
was gonna
not
crash
news?
down?
Yeah, well, maybe something happened with its orbit. I mean, there's so much goddamn garbage up there. It is actually amazing that we can launch rockets without getting hit with like a small piece of shrapnel. We really do mess. Why? Oh, you did that, didn't you? You son of a gun. Feels cheaper to fly something up there that could adjust its orbit rather than letting it crash and then remaking it. Yeah, wouldn't that make sense? All you need is a little like air pressure too. You don't need much to like shoot out a little ozone. I don't know. You know, you get air in a can.
Turn the can upside down.
All they're gonna be is like they're gonna shoot. Oh shit! This isn't the open one. That would have been funny. They're gonna be like, dude, we gotta move left a little. All right, we're left. You know, that's all they need to do. Why can't they add that to it? I don't know.
Do you know how expensive boost cans are getting now? Oh.
Those bastards.
We're gonna just ship a whole bunch up a keyboard cleaner and just.
All right, I like this, so we're gonna look at this real quick. Yeah, love gone sour. Russia sues astronaut who drilled spacecraft to reportedly be separate from. Oh, so it's her boyfriend was up there?
No, she was up there by herself and she wanted to go back home. And then NASA's like, you're up there for a year. Sorry.
Oh,
and she's like, so this is the part where Russia's suing, like wants to sue her for the damage she did to Soyuz.
Yeah.
But apparently, if you go down like the 4chan rabbit hole with like NASA whistleblowers, this lady was crazy. She broke all the toilet. Like she didn't like the 0G toilets because she didn't think they were built properly for ladies.
Oh my!
And NASA's like, no, it's just a 0G toilet. And she's like, guys won't have that problem. She's like, NASA's like, guys have to go the same way because you have to create a seal and have suction going the whole time. And she apparently told them they needed to make a new toilet and send it up there. And NASA's like, that'll take years to like test and develop a new toilet system. So she like clogged and broke the toilet so they would have to do it. Like they ended up having to wear diapers. Like this lady was apparently a nightmare. And like she started screwing with people's experiments. She was the first like female spacewalk repair person. Like it was going to be like, whatever first.
Fix something.
There's video of her like just letting go of the like tool bag and it just starts floating into space. And she's like, oops. She does it like 3 times where she loses the tools while she's trying to fix something.
Holy shit, she's nuts.
Yep.
I can't believe that wasn't in the news.
So you're saying she's single?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, man, that's your lady right there. Too bad you're married now. That's they're saying what? Drilled a 2 millimeter hole. You're saying she just went off the freaking hook. That's crazy.
She's just crazy.
And you would think that'd be bigger news. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, apparently none of this stuff even got covered on American newspapers because you're not gonna do that. Because she's, again, she's checking the boxes for a lot of firsts while she was up in space.
Hey, you know what's beautiful? They're still married. Sorry, Tina, what did you say?
I was just saying, there's the first to sabotage equipment. That's what she's the first of. But
yeah, exactly. She's a woman,
do you think he'll stay with her after the after the lawsuit? And
she's gonna bring that. Like, dude, I crashed a space station for you. And you don't want to go see my parents this weekend? Like, she's going to use that every opportunity.
Every opportunity. I was going to kill everyone, including myself. And this is what you do? I mean, this took place, in 2018 or? Yeah, 2018. And it says as of this posting, they're still married to this day. And this was, this was December 2nd, 2021.
Wow.
So he's into crazy chicks.
I was gonna say that is usually a dead giveaway that bitch is crazy and you need to run.
Yeah, man. Hey, what's up, one man? Yeah, it's 16-bit. She got the space madness. She definitely got that. Didn't they get that in Armageddon?
Yeah, where Steve Buscemi.
Yes, Steve Buscemi got it. Yeah.
Come on, guys! I just wanted to feel the power between my legs before I died.
That's a great. You know what? I hated that movie when I first saw it, but it's turned into one of those classics that I'm like, this is so bad it's good. You know? I'm leaving on a jet plane.
I'm just a huge fan of Steve Buscemi. So
I love him. I love him, dude. I could watch him in anything he does. He's such a great dramatic actor, but he's even a better comedic actor. And that's not how he started, right? I'm pretty sure he was dramatic.
He was dramatic,
yeah.
Yeah. He also played the pedophile serial killer in Con Air.
That's right.
He played the pedophile serial killer in Con Air. He played Donnie in The Big Lebowski.
Yep.
He played
Shut up, Donnie.
Yeah, sure.
You're out of your element. He was in Escape from LA. He was the guy who sold the map to the stars.
Yep. The guy's awesome. He's awesome. I mean, him and Billy Madison
in Fargo.
Yeah.
The little guy.
The little guy. Good shit. We're gonna be closing this down in a few because yelling at parked cars. I'm sorry.
Before we do that, apparently we just had a special message come in. I was just gonna play this to see what this is.
This is Scott, the real Scott. I was making a mistake earlier. The moon is real. This is a joke. I don't encourage you to seek the truth. I mean the propaganda from this channel. Peace, comrades.
That's deep. And let's not forget what Mad said about this channel at the very beginning.
Yeah. Hi, this is Rad Rar Tiggin. And I just want to say that the guy who runs this channel is pretty awesome and probably a very generous lover too. I wouldn't know. You can just tell by looking at some people.
True. I like to please. Real quick before we leave, I saw this trending before and it really it blows my mind that people are fighting for Willow. Not the 80s Willow. They're fighting for the show Willow.
There was not a single redeeming quality to that pile of shit.
Well, can I
didn't
ask
even
you a question?
try that one.
It's a chick, right? And this person's like, because I need my grumpy prince back.
Even Tina couldn't handle a bad take on that one. That's
Tina,
bad.
You didn't like it.
I didn't watch it. I didn't even watch it.
Wow. But all these people are out there. Here, I'm going to refresh this. Hopefully my stuff doesn't pop up. There we go.
So there's like a petition or something?
Let's see who are the top people at Save Willow. It hurts my soul. Just #Save Willow, please. And they got generic biracial freckle girl that's in everything.
Oh,
yeah. She was in this. She was in
Jesus is what we call her.
She was in Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah. Solo? She was in Solo.
That's right, because she was a terrorist in 2 of the 3 projects we mentioned.
Right, but she was a terrorist with a heart.
Yeah, that's why we call her Freckle Jesus when we're talking about her playing in Falcon and the.
She checks all the perfect amount of boxes because I think she's technically Irish, and biracial. She's getting European, and black representation. She's a woman representation. It's it's Kathleen Kennedy's dream.
Yeah.
Does anybody remember? I think it was a Skittles or a Starburst commercial or something where the dude was like, "Son, you're Scotch Korean."
Were you tasting the rainbow there, Slender?
I don't know what I just remember it baffled me. This Asian kid with red hair that's supposed to be Scottish and Korean. And I don't know. It was a crazy.
My little brother, what was it in Harry
never
Potter?
Get away with it today.
What was the girl that Harry had a crush on before he decided to go with
Cho Chang?
Yeah,
that's hot. My brother, because in the movie version they cast some Scottish Asian girl.
She's a Scottish. Oh yeah, I love
it. Harry, I was like, that
what
is
are
not
you doing,
the voice.
Harry? Give me a kiss, lass.
You don't expect that voice to be coming out of that face, and
but it's so hot,
dude. She ended up quitting acting afterwards because of the amount of shit that she got. People were sending shit to her, sending shit to her house. They found out where she lived, and they were sending her hate letters.
Dude, I thought she did a great job.
No, because she got in the way. She got in the way of Harry's relationship. She's not the one for Harry, and that's what it was about.
Also, in the movie, they
Harry
make
needs
her
to be
the
with
one.
his mother. I mean, Ginny.
Yeah, yeah, that was weird. Here, I'll give you this. Try it. It's a cookie. Are you
falling into the rabbit hole that she love spelled him and never looked back?
You never know, man. I haven't heard that
There's
one.
like
but
a whole
like
undercurrent that's what actually happened.
it could be. She was
I think
psycho.
that is a story for another episode of the
Yeah,
Dump.
well, we might have to get into that next week. One thing I did love though is what I hated is she got so much hate because in the movie she was tortured and gave up their location of the room of requirement. But in the book, it actually wasn't her. She didn't break. Like, and it was another girl. But because in the show, people who never read the book, they hated her for that. They hated her for she was so much better looking than Jenny. Like, come on, dude. She was like, Harry, I can't go. I'm sorry.
Jenny Weasley was a terrible choice. Like you said, it's mother issues.
It's hard. It's hard to, they picked her as a little kid and like I guess they didn't want to change it between.
Well, the books hadn't come out, so they didn't realize that Ginny was going to be the like end point for Harry.
And a hottie. Yeah. So I didn't know. I was shocked to hear in a Disney series there was lesbians. I was shocked. What are you laughing at?
Slender.
I'd rather have sex with the Sorting Hat. Dude, that's like throwing a hot dog down the hallway. Yeah. There is no shortage of misguided, unenlightened people in the world. They like Willow TV. You have a valid point.
Well, if there wasn't,
Kraken is here.
Well, the ratings make me have hope for the human species then, because if that's the people who are watching Willow, there's really not that many. What did you put on the screen?
I don't know. I guess it's somebody in Willow. I have no clue.
Okay. Arguably, though, that guy was the most interesting character.
Scroll back up real quick.
Yeah, like father, like daughter.
Like
now that not so much, but the guy in the first picture you showed, like
okay.
He was fun. Yeah, he was entertaining.
Okay.
He was probably the best character in the series.
He looks like
Slender's
early
like
man.
he's better than the Sorting Hat.
Is that Shagsworth?
I feel like he's the.
I feel
like he's.
See, here's the thing, though, and this is the thing about the Sorting Hat. It depends on how you're having sex with it. You know, like if you're going into the hat hole, yeah, but it's got a mouth too, dude.
Oh my God, they call themselves questies.
Oh
Lord, it does have a mouth. Okay, we'll end it here. I was hoping I was one of the top people because I came back at it like you already ruined it before you even started because the original is great, and people attacked me for that. The girl who I
don't think people understand how it works when a company does an actual write-off. It's not a matter of like you think you can save it. To do a corporate write-off on their taxes,
right?
It has to never be seen again.
Right.
It can't be released on DVD or
if it gets brought back, they're on the hook for millions.
Yeah.
What?
Peanuts for Jericho.
Because Jericho wasn't a write-off.
Oh,
Jericho was just a canceled show.
Yeah.
Like this is because the people don't understand the difference between a cancellation,
right,
and a corporate write-down, which is to do that. That's the business saying this thing was so bad we can never make money off of it, so we're taking the tax write-off because we can't make
pay taxes on it.
So we can't make any on it. If we make income in any way from it, we have to pay a penalty and undo all this stuff.
So they'll never release Batgirl.
No, Batgirl can't be seen. Like that's where a lot of these people don't.
No, Batgirl can be seen. It just can't. It'll have to be at their expense.
Yeah.
Well, the company would have to, and there's a penalty at that point too. So in addition to whatever the actual cost that they wrote off was, you're now going to have to pay a penalty for bringing it back.
Wow.
And businesses aren't going to pay.
I don't even know how that penalty works. Like,
well, what's going to happen is it's going to accidentally get leaked in a few years' time.
If they suddenly put themselves on the hook for like 200 million in taxes, what if the penalty's like 10%? You know, like now we suddenly owe 200 million in taxes plus another 10%, which is another 20 million.
Remember, it's going to be based on the corporate tax rate. So the corporate tax rate is around 22-23%, roughly. So,
I just want to tell one man show.
Maybe in Trump's economy.
All right.
So
we'll end there.
Guys, yes, Scott wants to end the show. We have to go over to comics.
Yeah, well, Comics Division is on Rumble. I think they're still only on Rumble. Wednesday nights, and hopefully next week I might join them. I have to go to work very early tomorrow, but so guys, support Sporking News and over on Rumble, Comics Division. Anybody who's over there, Rumble. Hopefully we can get that going for some of us smaller channels, because YouTube doesn't love us anymore. Other than that, you could also check out Zach's show. I think that starts 9 p.m. Central. Is that an hour, right? So like an hour from it now.
What's
like
that for the rest of us who live in civilization on the East Coast?
Yeah, it's an hour from now. That's what I'm saying too. Yeah, I'm on the East Coast too. Other than that, guys, thank you for a fun show. I had a good time. Great discussion. I like to disagree, so that's fun because we can do that here. And even though you have bad takes, I could still think you're a good person.
By the way, how much did Blue Beetle make?
What?
How much did Blue Beetle make, Scott?
$55 million and $1.
What?
Yeah, no, you guys missed gender.
Because I think Tina's gonna have to get her second video out of this, so we just.
I'm pretty sure
I'm
this
9
thing closed out at
subscribers away.
25 million.
Okay, I did say it was going to make more than 30. That was the one I was going to. I actually thought,
your
I
initial one,
lost.
yeah. Well, apparently
they
blame the rain in LA for keeping the Latinos out of the theater.
Yeah, it was Hillary's fault.
Yeah, they Milli
Regime.
Vanilli'd it. Blame it on the rain.
Yeah.
Well, technically, they didn't say that. They just moved their mouth to it.
That's true.
Did you guys like the original Willow? Because I actually
of course.
as a kid,
it was
I
awesome.
liked. I got to watch it again. I haven't watched it in probably 25, 30 years. I just always remember Matt Mardigan. You are a great swordsman. I'll make this baby disappear.
I just remember seeing it like on a double feature with Rambo 3 because they came out the same year. It was.
Here's what I'll say.
It was great.
I corrected in the next one. I made a typo on that one, Scott.
Oh, okay.
I've got to be kind of what's the word, diplomatic about this, because my wife absolutely loves Willow. It's like one of her favorite movies from her childhood.
Oh, that's awesome.
I like the movie, but will admit that it's kind of a shit movie.
Yeah.
But I like it.
Yeah.
What?
Well, there are a lot of movies out there that you're like, this isn't the best, but for some reason, anytime
I
it's on
acknowledge
TNT,
that
I watch it.
my love for the Masters of the Universe canon films one is not shared by. It's a bad movie that I do
Wait a
enjoy.
minute, which one?
Masters of the Universe, the terrible He-Man movie from
terrible
1980.
Movie, but it's better than anything Kevin Smith has done.
The Skeletor in it, Frank Langella as Skeletor was awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah,
He's awesome.
but that one. In fact, and I'm dragging Slender to Kroll next week because they're playing in the theater around here.
Is this
that
correct?
one's
see,
so
LJ,
far. That's like for a week.
I think
okay,
so
I'm
meant the first week. Blue Beetle
I
was out.
did say the first week. What I also said was,
No, you
how
said
much
a
did I
weekend.
say it was? It was going to make over $250.
Oh boy,
$250. I go back. I think I also said in its run, it'll make over 250 mil. I think I said.
Yeah, that's not looking good either.
You said
it's already at
$30 million
43.
opening weekend, and then you expanded on it, and we're like, no, $55 million
That's
opening
freaking
weekend.
Culture's fault for being so
And then you were like,
culture.
then you were like, it's gonna beat Flash.
It's going to be Flash at some point.
So generally, on
better
a
than
best
Flash.
case, the average a movie makes is it makes about 1/3 of its money its first weekend.
Yeah, not
So
yeah, but
multiply the
great
first
films
weekend
grow.
by 3, and that's what you're. Yeah, and this is not that.
It might be.
Equalizer 3 comes out like next
Yeah,
weekend, man.
that's a lot of
That's
it.
gonna be awesome.
Goddamn
Community in
Denzel.
California will come
and
out for Blue
Gran
Beetle next
Turismo's
week.
this weekend.
Yeah,
That looks
Cali.
good.
Yeah. All right, fellas. Thank you, guys. This was fun. We'll do it again next week. Please, guys, Saturday we have the Talking Random Show, episode 3. We'll see what happens. Maybe have a guest. I'm hoping more information coming down the line. And Tina, guys, make sure you check out her channel. It's new. I just subscribed to this channel.
These guys
So
are
I'm the
great.
60.
They're part of the Legion of Memers, and
Oh, I
it's
didn't
Extra
know that.
Zero and the devil with the afraid of green
Running
rock.
with the devil?
Devil made me do it.
Superman.
Thank you. Devil made me do it. They do it. They do the ranking kind of like we were doing with Game of Thrones that one episode.
Yeah.
But they keep different topics. I've been on there twice. I was on just on Sunday night, and when we ranked board games from our childhood.
That's
and
pretty cool.
They've done sports cars, movies, the best hamburger, fast food places. I mean, it's really a lot of fun. And Dermy Wormy's on there, and we make fun of him all the time. He's one of my internet children, and it's just a great time. So please come check them out.
Definitely.
They've only been on for several weeks now, but they're absolutely just a blast.
Well, I was their 63rd subscriber, and I will definitely check them out. Thank you very much. Chad or Slender, working on anything you want to promote before we go?
I think Slender did the promo for our show, Ascendant Art Podcast, Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern, the civilized time.
Yep. So invited. That's cool. Good. I hope you guys really do well on a show never invited to. Mr. Grant Gregory.
Oh, come join me in the chat, Scott.
Yeah, no, I don't.
I'm like you in the chat.
I'm like Matt. I don't show up for chats.
I'm just getting used to you being on your own channel. I'm not sure about inviting you.
It's been a solid month now, dude.
I know.
Look how many fans we lost.
Now that you've knocked the rust off, maybe you can come run with the big dogs on our show. I mean, I didn't want you to come in without some practice.
Oh, you guys. Oh, I thought you meant like a guest. Grant, you working on anything? Like
so I've got a stream coming up where I'm going to be deleting 52,947,000 views from my channel live, so I don't lose my channel with these new monetization rules and everything. So that should be fun. So if you want to see someone destroy 50 million views on their channel, come watch me next Saturday.
I destroyed 4 million.
Why do you have to get rid of that?
Because of YouTube.
Because
we'll
of
talk
YouTube's
about
new
that
policies.
Backstage. Guys, everybody have a great night. Check out 9 o'clock Rumble. Jump over and go check out Comics Division. 10 o'clock Eastern. Go check out Zax, who's one of the best dudes on the internet. Other than that, guys, stay cool, stay groovy, and remember, the truth is out there.